following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. Welcome into this Tuesday edition of Main Street Sports. Today on the program, the lovely TERESA Walker, Tennessee AP Sports editor, talking a little Grizzlies, a little Predators all season, a little Titans conversation as well. She covers it all. Exciting stuff. Chip Walters, Blue Raider Network, his weekly visit. We'll see what's happening in Blue Raider land. Also, our daily Braves talk, this day in Braves history, and it's Top 5 Tuesday. And as always, we've got a good one for you. Now, to the Hall of Famer Mo Patton and the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Chris Yao. Happy Tuesday. Welcome into Main Street Sports today.
Mo, he pulled out the Steve Harvey.
There he did.
We got a good one for you today.
Got a good one.
Can we just get Steve Harvey's voice doing that? And as always, we got a good one for you today.
As long as we don't have to pay for it.
Exactly.
You're here.
Oh, welcome in. It is a Top 5 Tuesday edition of Main Street Sports Today, and we are glad to have you guys with us. It is going to be a fantastic day. Got a great show lined up for you, and we're looking forward to taking part in today's show. Our top story, Mo, comes from the opening pitch of the day, and that's a pitch like a verb, not the
not
pitch
the
with
noun.
a crown in
no,
it.
No crowns. No crown.
But the Tennessee Baseball Coaches Association announced just not too long ago, matter of fact, I believe it was about 2 hours ago, the 2022 finalists for Mr. Baseball. And not a lot of Main Street flavor in there, but we got a few.
Lay them on us.
In Class A out of Eagleville High School, we've got Nathan Brewer, fantastic player.
Son, I believe, of former MTSU standout Mudcat Brewer.
Oh, Mudcat. Of course he is.
Mudcat.
Sir.
Speaking of names,
The cat.
Nathan seems like a very
Tame
sad name
compared to Mudcat.
Yeah. But he is joined by Gordonsville High School's Austin Duchrist, Sale Creek's Jacob Elrod, Jacob with a K.
Jacob.
Yeah, Jacob. Pigeon Forge with a pair of finalists in Class AA, Riley Franklin and Dylan Loy.
They must be pretty good.
It's Pigeon Forge, man. What are you going to do, right? And we'll go.
You're going to play baseball and you're going to wrestle.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And stay off the Ferris wheels. Then we'll go all the way west to Adamsville, where Carson Plunk will join the Pigeon Forge.
Carson Plunk.
Plunk, yeah. I hope
he
he's
a
on a
pitcher?
pitcher. Yeah, exactly. Oh, man. And AAA, Hardin County with a pair as well down in Savannah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Hardin County's got 2 and Adamsville's got 1.
I know.
All
What are they
right.
doing down there?
All right.
Cooper Clapp and Seth Garner out of Hardin County. And they're joined by Granger's. It is Granger, right?
Mhm,
Okay.
it is.
Like the tools. Just making sure. Brady Smith of Granger. And
Is that for the ones that get it done? Is that
yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
you boys came out swinging today.
Well, okay. So they have listed the 4 A's.
Well, they didn't get
The memo.
the style memo that we got,
But
apparently.
Class 4A or Class Quadruple A. Yeah, however you want to say it. Jefferson County's Tanner Franklin, Science Hill's Cole Torbett, and Mount Juliet's Justin Lee.
Okay.
And for Division II, Class A, it's Turner Junkins. I hope he's a pitcher too, and I hope he throws nothing but breaking balls.
Mm-hmm.
Out of Silverdale Baptist, DJ Merriweather from Clarksville Academy, and Carson Rucker of Good Pasture.
DJ Merriweather.
Yeah.
That dude does it all.
He really does, and does it all well.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Because we've been hearing that name all year.
Mm-hmm. I mean, from
August.
Is he the one who had like 37 touchdowns in one game?
Something like that.
It felt like anyway. And in D2 AA, Baylor's Henry Godbout, 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 but one word. So I don't know how you say it.
God boo.
Could be.
Little Cajun.
It's very possible.
Yeah.
This may be my favorite name of the group. Pope John Paul or Pope Preps, Chet Lax.
Chet Lax.
Chet like Atkins, and then Lax like lacrosse. Chet Lax. I like it. You know, he's much like me, who has the two with Chris Yao. It's two names, one syllable each. It's just one name.
Chet Lax.
It's Chet Lax.
Yeah.
He does not. He go by Chet. There's no doubt. And Knoxville Catholic's Daniel Paris finishes out the Mr. Baseball finalists. So congratulations to those young men. And
now those will be presented on Tuesday morning. Is that right?
Usually like what?
Tuesday?
8 o'clock,
No,
9 o'clock.
Not quite that early, but yeah.
It felt like it last time because we had to get there early to set up for our show because we were doing the 9 o'clock show last year.
Well, no more representation than we have. I guess we don't have to worry with that this time.
But yeah, those will be given out Tuesday morning prior to
Spring Fling
starting, which Spring Fling is next week. That's nuts. High school sports season
winding down,
almost over. That's wild.
Where's that applause button again?
I do it for the applause. But yeah, I'm looking forward to next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. Matter of fact, I believe we're going to have a special show for you guys from 2 o'clock, starting at 2 o'clock next week. So
maybe we should.
We're just going to tease that for now. We're hoping to have a special show for you
tease.
guys. So keep an eye out, Bolo, for what's coming.
Yes, Bolo.
I'm just, saving my words.
I got you.
But we'll have something next week, and it'll be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. So keep an eye out for that. JP?
Yes, sir.
There were a lot of teams yesterday whose seasons came to a close.
Yeah, it was elimination last night, right?
Last night was the first of 2 eliminations prior to Spring Fling. Everybody who won last night will play Friday. Whether they play at home or on the road, they'll determine tomorrow night. So let's get yesterday's results and today's pretty lengthy soccer schedule on the rundown.
The rundown. Let's do it.
This is your Tuesday Rundown brought to you by Jim Davis at Grow Live Give. Visit them at growlivegive.com or give them a call at 615-682-0022. Securities offered through IFP Securities, LLC, DBA Independent Financial Partners, IFP member, FINRA, SIPC. Investment advice offered through IFP Advisors, LLC, DBA Independent Financial Partners, Registered Investment Advisor. IFP and Grow Live Give are not affiliated. All right, as Chris mentioned, elimination round of baseball and softball. We'll start with baseball last night. Ravenwood knocks out Brentwood in the Battle of the Woods, 4-3 the final there. Ravenwood moves on. Eagleville easily handling Colioca last night, 20-2. It was Community taking out East Nashville, 19-2. East Robertson, 4-1 over Clay County. It was Forest last night, getting the win over Stratford 20-1. Gordonsville shutting out Joe Burns 9-0. Greenbrier took care of Martin Luther King 12-1. Lebanon season comes to a close as they fall to Hendersonville 8-1. How about this one? Henry County over Clarksville 1-0 in an elimination game. I know that had to be excited.
That was tough for Clarksville.
Yeah, hard one to take. Loretto advances. They win 6-3 over Fairview. It was Mount Juliet 2-1 over Beach last night. So Beach season comes to an end. Montgomery Central 6-5 over Murfreesboro Central Magnet. Moore County in a tight one with Richland 5-3. Moore County gets the win and advances. Rossview advances over Dixon County 11-4. Stewart's Creek in a tight one in Rutherford County over Rockvale 5-4 the final there. Centennial 7-3 over Summit. Upperman 7-2 over Page. Watertown easily handling Sequatchie County 10-0. and a tight one. White House Heritage 9-8 over Giles County, so the Bobcat season comes to an end. Softball, same concept here. Elimination rounds.
Same as
the first. That's right. Bledsoe County 9-2. They knock out Watertown last night. Creekwood ends the season for Hume Fogg with a 12-1 victory. Clarksville 6-1 over Dixon County. Community, not a typo here, 31-0 over East Nashville. So Community will advance. Father Ryan 12-7 over Harpeth Hall. Forest shutting out Whites Creek last night 16-0. Summit shuts out Franklin 7-0, ending the Admirals season. Gordonsville 4-1 over East Robertson. Loretto advances with an 8-1 win over Cheatham County. It was Montgomery Central 3-0 over Murfreesboro Central Magnet. So,
shocker of the day.
So Montgomery Central,
not
both
that one, the next one,
in baseball and softball, get the win over Murfreesboro Central Magnet. Chris alluded to Centennial 4, Nolensville 1.
Hey.
That is a shocker.
CCCHS.
How about them?
In the house.
Them Cougars.
All right. Stewart's Creek 3-1 winners over Siegel last night. Henry County and Springfield in a tight one. It's Springfield moving on. 4-3 winners last night in a tight one there. Wilson Central, also a close one, 3-1 over Station Camp. Summertown shuts out Harpeth Hall. They advance 8-0 there. Eagleville 5-0 over Wayne County, and it was Westmoreland 2-0 over Monterey. On the pitch last night, was this elimination as well?
I don't think so.
So what now? On the pitch today?
No, tomorrow. Last night. Laverne and Siegel played, I think, in their district.
If it was on the
unless it was tonight. I don't know what that significance of that game last night was, of the match last night.
Either way, Laverne wins 5-2 over Siegel. So Laverne,
there you go.
We know Laverne.
It's either a district championship or a region semifinal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last night, the Braves fall to the Brewers 1-0. On tap for today, softball. Is this a holdover from last night?
I think so.
Okay. Rockvale and Smyrna, an elimination game. That'll be a 6:30 first pitch there tonight. Soccer, a slew of games on the pitch today.
Hang on. There's one other softball game hanging out there as well. Marshall County goes to White County today.
Okay. All right.
Also.
Add that. I'm assuming the same scenario.
Yeah, it's a region semifinal that didn't get played. I think
Gotcha.
somebody was graduating last night.
A Monday graduation. There we go. All right. So on tap for today, boys soccer on the pitch. Station Camp is at Antioch, Page at Fairview. That'll be a 7 o'clock first touch. At 6, Franklin hosts Columbia. At 7, you'll see Franklin at Harpeth. Fayetteville at Harpeth. Hillsboro's at Hendersonville. Henry County will host Clarksville Northeast. At 7 to 9, you'll see Brentwood at Independence. Loretto travels to Madison Academic Magnet. That's out of Jackson, is that right?
Madison Academic?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Sycamore, Murfreesboro Central Magnet will face off today. Smyrna at Oakland tonight at 7. At 6, Richland hosts Republic. Dixon County is at Rossview. Smith County at STEM Academy. At 6, you'll see Greenbrier at Valor Collegiate. Merrill Hyde is at Watertown, and Green Hill at White House Heritage. All of those soccer matches today. College baseball, midweek action. Tennessee hosting Belmont at 5 o'clock on SEC Plus. And at 6 tonight, I'm assuming at the Hawk, it'll be Vanderbilt hosting MTSU. We'll get Chip's take on this game coming up in our second half. The Braves continue their series in the Brew City of Milwaukee against the Brewers. Davidson on the mound for the Bravos and Hauser for Milwaukee. And that is your Tuesday Rundown, brought to you by Jim Davis. Grow, live, give.com.
We'll come back. We'll have Teresa Walker. So come on back with us on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton, JP Plant here with you, coming to you live from Columbia, all across the Mid-State on Main Street media platforms everywhere. Glad to have you guys with us and looking forward to our next segment, because it's always fun to follow up on Twitter wars with Teresa. And so
Teresa was in a Twitter war
with me, and
oh Lord,
we were discussing the Grizzlies' 70 rebounds, and I said they got out efforted, and I said that yesterday on this show.
You did,
and I still believe that they did. I didn't say that they didn't give effort. I just think that maybe there was some effort extra on the experience side, and Teresa actually won me over to her argument.
What was her argument?
Her argument was that the Golden State Warriors have been there. They've done that, and they know how to do it better. And that's a pretty darn good argument.
That's a tough argument to argue against, actually. So
I don't know what you do at that point. You just say, you know what? Hey,
you're right.
You nailed it, Teresa. I agree with you. And so, Teresa, how are you? Bask in your glory today.
I was saying too about that.
It's also hard to argue against Teresa because she's is in fact never wrong.
Yeah. So there you go.
Pretty much. But that's the thing. The Golden State Warriors, you know, they're older, and as Dylan Brooks said Friday night, we're coming, and they will. And these are the kind of battles the Warriors went through in 2013-14. Mm-hmm. And when they were down 2-1 against the Memphis Grizzlies in 2015, against the Grizzlies team, Mike Conley was still dealing with the fact that his face was broken the series before. You know, that's when they kind of broke through and made their charge to their first title. They've been to 5 straight finals, okay? I know that in 2016, they blew a 3-1 lead. Was wondering if they just might blow a 3-1 lead in this last series, but you know, they do have a core, Draymond Green, Steph, Klay Thompson, that while they're working in a bunch of young guys, those 3 guys, pretty good at knowing how to kind of finish. And that was such a tight game Friday night. I mean, you know, Grizzlies had a lead, then the Warriors would come back, Grizzlies took it back. I mean, you know, it was like at one point there was 13 lead changes and 7 ties. And, you know, they were fighting. It's just that Steven Adams rolled an ankle in the first half, went to the locker room. Jaren Jackson Jr. stepped on a cameraman in the first quarter who got out of the box, rolled his ankle. And then guys who have been good rebounders for them, you know, Jaren Jackson, Brandon Clark has just been, I mean, he was a huge key for much of this postseason, averaging double-doubles off the bench. And he struggled. And that's the thing. They just kind of hit their wall. I mean, they were playing their third straight game without the NBA's most improved player, the guy who finished 7th in the NBA MVP voting. After I'd had people telling me much of the season, no, he's not in the conversation. Yeah, he's in the conversation. He finished ahead of Steph Curry and LeBron James. I think he's in the conversation now. So, they kind of hit their wall of what they could do without their top star. And, they're going to learn from this. I mean, I was on the Zoom after Game 6 on Friday night, and, they had their clean out media session on Sunday. And the words that came from just about everybody, we love being here together. Oh, yeah, the management, the owner, whose personal wealth has just absolutely exploded since he bought this team a few years ago, is determined to pay what it takes to financially keep this team together. John Morant is going to he can get a 5-year max contract before June 30th. And the GM kind of said, whatever the NBA rules say I can do, I'm going to do it. So, and oh yeah, Ja, where does he want to be? Does he want to be anywhere other than Memphis? Or does he want to be in Memphis? To rephrase that, he kind of said, heck yeah. Not the exact word he said there before, yeah. But, I mean, and, they're all working. They all couldn't wait to get back in the gym. Dylan Brooks, Desmond Bain, they have to work harder to get their bodies ready for a longer postseason on top of an 82-game season. So, they saw firsthand what they've got to do to get there. And I just say this, guys, I think that this is a massive learning point. This franchise just got in the playoffs last year, missed the playoffs the year before in the bubble in Orlando. This year, in their third year with John Morant and this young core, the second youngest team in the NBA during the regular season, youngest team in 25 years to make it to the second round. And they've got an off season now to work on this and take the next step. And here's the thing. If they had finished off Golden State, not only would they have home court in the Western Finals because Phoenix took the tailpipe on Sunday, they would have had home court advantage in the finals because they had a better record than Boston or Miami. So, they sit around. That's got to eat at them a little bit, knowing how close they were. And guys, John Morant missed 25 games during the regular season. So, yeah, he has to play more games. Dylan Brooks missed huge chunks of the season. I think he only played 32 games. He had just come back in January, hurt another ankle, and, just come back in March. So if this team can get this team healthy to play the majority of the season together, watch out.
Teresa, as you talk about all of that and you talk about how young this team is, and there's no way around it, this is a young team. While the Grizzlies owner is breaking the bank for Ja, might he want to turn his couch upside down and shake out some coins to get a veteran Robin for Ja as Batman?
Well, that has kind of been, here's the thing. I think they may have him already on their roster. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, look at Desmond Bain. The kid went from averaging 8.2 points a game in his rookie year to 19 points his second season, has led the NBA in three-point percentage over these two seasons. I mean, we're talking the whole league, okay? He just became the third player in NBA history to hit at least 7 threes in back-to-back games. It depends on what you're thinking of as a Robin. I mean, Tyus Jones, that team is really effective when they go with both of them on the court. That frees up Ja to be more of a creator and scorer than distributing the ball, which he is incredibly good at. Tyus Jones is going to be a free agent this year. That's a guy that, that they're going to have to think very close about as to how much do they offer to try to keep him on this team. And if they do lose him, then they've got to go replace that guy. It's almost like this is a team that just needs to grow together and get better. I mean, the addition of Steven Adams really opened up, I think, this offense far more than, they got rid of Jonas Valanciunas another big guy, double machine, but he just couldn't do some of the things that Steven Adams does. I mean, for a big Kiwi, I mean, it's amazing what he can do distributing the ball around the paint and score and rebound himself. So, yeah, there's going to be a couple pieces. I mean, Zach Kleeman, the GM, named the NBA Executive of the Year last week. He was making so many moves last year. It was dizzying, in fact. I mean, Patrick Beverly, who got such attention yesterday for his criticism of Chris Paul, was briefly a Grizzly last August, for like 36 years. There was trades to here. I mean, Rajon Rondo was briefly a Grizzly for a brief moment. I mean, it was just,
well, and thank goodness he's
insane.
not right now with what he's dealing with, by the way.
Say that again?
I said, thank goodness Rajon Rondo is not a Grizzly right now with the off-court situation that he's got going on.
I'm very glad that he's not a Grizzly. So, I mean, I'm expecting him to make moves. I did not expect the move last year to move up to number 10 and take Zaire Williams. And that kid, just the light flipped on for him in February. And he was making big shots against the Warriors and defending Steph Curry at times. And doing a good job of that. So I'm just curious to see what all they do this season, because that's the thing. They understand what they've got, that they've got a wide open window with a young team, and that they can be the Golden State Warriors of this decade. And that's why I'm resting up now, because, guys, I am expected to be very busy deep into May next year.
I guess, Teresa, my thing is, again, as you talk about all of the issues that they had that were youth related, if there's not a veteran presence that couldn't help with that learning curve as far as that goes, or like you said, maybe they just grow through it and go through it.
Well, that's the thing. I think that's something that they're going to have to decide. There was not a single player on that roster who made a single point for them this season who was 30 or older. So, this young crew, they're confident. I mean, it's like, I think I've said it before. They don't know what they're not supposed to do. They just want to go win, and they are willing to go work. I mean, Desmond Bain said he's going to drag Zaire Williams with him to the gym this summer, to work on his shot and to help him improve. And actually, Bain has a former TCU teammate, Kendrick Davis, who, transferred to Memphis. So they're going to be working out together. So that's the interesting thing that, that they have to decide. I mean, they seem to understand what they need to do. I mean, they, posted comebacks all throughout, the comebacks in the first round against Minnesota. They did that all year. Being able to blow out teams, and win by big margins. They did that. I'm not sure what, somebody with experience could bring to this roster, and help point the way. Now, if you're talking about, maybe Bronny James and LeBron were ever to come up to Memphis, that's a conversation of a different matter, but, we're going to have to just wait and see how that goes.
Teresa, I want to switch gears real quick and talk about Traylon Burks, who signed his rookie deal today. We get 4 years of Burks for what it would have cost 10 games of AJ Brown. So that's a pretty good deal, right?
Yeah, and I saw some chart that rated the Titans as managing their cap space, being in fairly good cap space. That's the thing that helps them. Now the question is, can Traylon Burks help replace him on the field? And, that's the one, for everybody who were upset about AJ Brown, they now have, a young wide receiver and cost certainty, so to speak, for the next 5 years, because, him being a first round pick, unlike AJ Brown, you can pick up that 5th-year option like they did with Jeffrey Simmons a couple weeks ago to buy yourself more time to get to the extension stage and control that money a bit. So why is that important? Well, Jeffrey Simmons is going to be wanting an extension soon. So, and we don't know what's going to happen in the next 2 years with the quarterback spot. So getting some savings under the salary cap, always a good thing.
Yeah, no question there. I'm excited to see the rest of this salary cap, because the Titans were certainly in a precarious situation before this season, but it certainly seems like John Robinson has kind of dug himself out of that hole, and that's important not just for this year, but for many years going forward, because again, you got to pay Jeffrey Simmons at some point.
I just hope that the past years, because again, as I pointed out on this show some time ago, A.J. Brown's trade wasn't just an A.J. Brown thing. It was an accumulation of things prior to A.J.
Correct.
Brown. And so hopefully once John Robinson works himself out of bad contract jail, he can figure a way to stay out.
Well, and guys, sometimes that happens when you're trying to, when you're trying. They got so cheap with Ryan Tannehill, right, in 2019, but then they had to pay up with the new deal. They had to pay up for Derrick Henry. That's the curse almost of drafting a bunch of good players. You either sign them or they go elsewhere, and it's never ever easy. The salary cap will be going up. And what we have seen is that with Vin Marino and John Robinson, they've done a pretty good job of managing that cap number. Right now, the Titans are, by spotrac.com, they're 29th in the league with $1.94 million in space. Now, once we get to June 1st in a couple weeks, that will go up because you get the benefit of having, the release of Julio Jones as a post-June 1 cap hit. I think they get like $9 million back for that. So that'll certainly jump them back up the board. So, it's all about managing. And what this franchise has done since the bloodletting of February 2004 is do a pretty good job of doing just that and managing the cap.
And that is, the most important thing in the NFL is finding a way to keep your best players and yet have enough role players good enough to win football games. And John Robinson has been pretty good at that over the last few years. I mean, so let's give him credit for that for sure. Teresa Walker of the Associated Press here with us. Before we let you go, Teresa, want to just get your final thoughts on the Nashville Predators and where they go from here. We talked with a couple of different folks last week, Christopher Martell and Pete Weber, who both say that this franchise as a whole is in a pretty good spot as long as they could keep the core that's currently there together and build with young talent. Yeah,
that seems so, but they do have decisions to make. I mean, John Hines, the team has an option, but his contract's up. So, and if you pick up that 1-year option, guess what? You're not picking up just the year. You have to do an extension. So David Poyle is 72, will be 73 in February. Is this the time to do a quick reset and, look at, what they can do, what they have done, and what they could maybe do differently? So, somebody pointed out on Twitter earlier today that, it seems like it's the longest since a season ended that we haven't heard from David Poyle. That's because a lot of decisions are being made. So, and where does this franchise need to go? I mean, coming off of the incredible season, Roman Josi, Norris Trophy candidate, best scoring season by a defenseman in 29 years, 2 40-goal scorers for a franchise that hadn't had a goal scorer top 34 before this season. Tanner Jeannot, and leading all rookies in goals. And then, your goaltender in his first true year without Pekka Rinne, now being retired, is a Vezina finalist. So much went right. And then at the end, they were just so exhausted. And it's like, I would argue that the aggressive identity that they built with John Hines took a toll. They led the league by far in fighting majors, penalties per minute. And when you play that physical, aggressive style, it takes a toll. And I think we saw that in April because it's almost like a switch flip. The team that was thumping people and scoring 6 and 7 goals a game in March, we're scrapping for goals in April and simply ran out of steam in being swept in the playoffs. So very curious to see what those next steps are for the Nashville Predators. Hopefully there's a lot of introspection because trust me, if they think that they got picked apart for being swept, just wait. If, depending on what happens this next season, or if they don't get a deal done with Philip Forsberg.
There you go. Teresa Walker, Associated Press. Teresa, as always, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Glad we were able to get her on this time. It was a rough go last week, but That's why we went a little bit over. Got an extra 5 minutes out of her. So actually 8 minutes, I guess. JP, let's take a quick break and come back with more. We'll just kind of react to a little bit and add on to what Teresa had to say, because there's some things some nuggets in there that we need to maybe expound upon. So we'll be back on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yow, Mo Patton, JP on the controls, coming to you from Columbia down here in southern Middle Tennessee. Got a few little nuggets from Teresa in that, and Mo, I'm with you. I think there's got to be some sort of upgrade in the veteran department.
Yeah, I just don't think there's too many young guys, and not to take anything away from them. I mean, they're young and talented, but they're young, and they might just need somebody that's not a coach to maybe give them a little veteran leadership.
So I will tell you, part of the discussion that I had, it was actually on a Joe Rexroad tweet that Teresa jumped in on, and basically, that's what I said. I said, maybe there needs to be an upgrade in the experience department. And she said, well, Taylor Jenkins was a finalist for Coach of the Year, or won Coach of the Year, something like that. So I'm not necessarily talking about Taylor Jenkins.
No,
I'm talking about an on-court coach.
On-court, somebody that can just – I don't want to say that these guys aren't working hard. I don't want to say they're not working the right way. I'm just saying that a veteran who has been there, done that to some degree, watching someone like that go about their business might have a positive impact on this young, talented Grizzlies roster.
Well, it's much like I had been saying with, like losing Nick Markakis, I thought was
out of Young Harris.
Professional hitter Nick Markakis out of Young Harris. I thought that that he was a guy who did that for the Braves. I think losing Freddie Freeman's experience hurt the Braves.
Stop.
Okay, who's the leader on the team? That's why we had this discussion the other day. There's not a clear veteran leadership on the team. That's and it's clear that it can be an issue for young, talented ball players. I'm not saying that it is for the Braves. I'm saying that it could be.
I see in a general.
That's what I'm saying.
I see in a general statement
like
that it can.
Travis d'Arnaud is the guy that you would probably look for to fill that role, that void,
particularly from the catcher position
after Freddie Freeman. Yeah, but he's only been in the organization for a short period of time. So
can it not be Ozzie?
I think Ozzie is taking that role. After what I saw with Marcell Ozuna when he got yelled, when he yelled at him on the base pass, I think Ozzie is taking that role, and that's great. But at the beginning of the year, I don't know that anybody held that role, and so
at the beginning of the year,
everybody's still confused.
Yeah, I mean, because Freddie had just left.
Yeah,
and
it's like,
and
now what?
And everybody expected him to be back.
Right.
Let's be real.
Yeah. So the Grizzlies need to make a move early in the offseason that
everybody can settle in.
They can settle in and go through the offseason watching somebody doing their business.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I take on the offseason.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to do it this way to be successful in the postseason at the National Basketball Association level.
And a point that Teresa made, this team is so young, they're not used to playing this deep.
Right. I do think, I think having to go deep into that first round playoff series hurt. Had they gotten out of there in 5, it probably would have been a little bit.
And I'm going to tell you
easier.
something. I'm not sure even if they had the home court advantage against Dallas, that it would have worked in their favor the way Dallas is playing right now.
Not just that, but, when we talked about them through that January-February run, Dallas was the one team that beat them and beat them twice.
Yeah.
So
even when they were rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at that point you go, okay, Dallas is probably the favorite here throughout the rest of the playoffs.
I think newsflash, I think Luka's a bad matchup for Memphis.
Yeah. He's a bad matchup for everybody.
Luka's a bad matchup.
Matter of fact, I saw a tweet or a stat from Luka that Luka had, I wish more points than Steph, more assists than Chris Paul, and more rebounds than some other pretty big time rebounder throughout the playoffs. And I'm like, oh, okay, so he's the best player in the league. Gotcha. He didn't win MVP though, so I mean, there's that. But yeah, so and the same thing with the Predators. The Predators have, if you don't keep Matt Duchene and Philip Forsberg together, one of whoever's left, I mean, Duchene would have to take over that role. You've got Yossi and Johansson, but they've got to have somebody to help bring along those young stars who are coming up from the AHL and also the guys who are on their team.
And much similar to the Grizzlies situation. UC Soros, this is his first year as a starter, and he plays more games than any other starting goalie. Did he get burned?
I mean, you have to think that the groin was probably at least somewhat
an overuse
injury. I mean, it's very possible.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's take a break. We'll come back with halftime. Trust me, you're going to want to stick around for this story. It is ridiculous. But we have a halftime snack.
This story had better be good.
It is.
Okay. All right.
So y'all stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. We'll be back after this.
And Maurice does deserve credit because we were he called to see if we could talk about what might happen with Kumar. And I told him I was kind of surprised we hadn't heard anything yet. And then I think the next day the news came out. So we got to give Maurice all the credit for making that happen.
Mo made Kumar sign an Indie League contract. Way to go, Mo. Congrats.
And your mock is going to disappoint a lot of Vanderbilt fans because you've got Drew Jones at number 1 to the Orioles.
He's not coming to Vanderbilt.
When we were trying to catch the skunk from under the house, we caught 3 raccoons.
Okay.
How do we know they're raccoon droppings?
She Googled it. It's very, very distinct.
Okay.
It looks like black beans.
Stop. I'm going to take your word for it.
Just trust me.
I am. Absolutely am.
There is a way to know, and we do, in fact, know.
Okay. Right. There you go.
That's fine.
It has been made official that Yaroslav Askarov has been signed to
Well done. You deserve bells for that one. You can't leave them in Milwaukee forever.
You put those 3 guys' pictures and a picture of David Riddich up, and you play that Sesame Street song. One of these things is not like the others. So,
is that our second Hazel Green reference today?
It is.
Look, boy, Hazel Green, Alabama. We might as well just get an affiliate down there.
There you go.
We're talking all about the Trojans today.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it for this Monday edition. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us here on Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. It's halftime here on Main Street Sports today, and we have a snack. And so I have to tell you, for whatever reason, Sarah is...
That's your wife, by the way, for those that don't know.
Sarah, my wife, does not like vegetables. She doesn't like any type of vegetables at all whatsoever.
Knew I liked something about her.
Doesn't want to, if it ain't a sweet potato or sometimes broccoli, but it's got to be like covered in cheese in order for her to eat it, right?
Okay.
She'll eat my Brussels sprouts on occasion, but only if I cook them with the bacon in the air fryer and douse it with like brown sugar. So
you got to
it's delicious. Don't get me wrong.
De-vegetabilize it.
You have to de-vegetabilize the vegetables.
Do you like that?
That's exactly what you have to do.
De-vegetabilize it.
Well, that's what we've done here with this spinach dip. Well, my mother makes the only spinach dip that Sarah really likes to eat.
Okay.
And she has been bugging me to get the recipe from her forever. And so we finally decided yesterday we're going to go to the store and get the stuff to make spinach dip.
Okay.
I told you this yesterday.
Yes,
we had gone to the store. So we went to the store. I've called my mother. What's the recipe? She doesn't answer the phone.
Answer.
Called my grandmother.
Ooh.
On my dad's side, which is ironic, but she's been there when she makes the dip, and my grandmother says, "Well, you need ranch packet and frozen chopped spinach and something else she puts in there." Well, she doesn't use a ranch packet.
Okay.
We find this out later through my sister-in-law. So now we've asked 3 people because my mother didn't answer the phone. We're on the
This is how recipes get screwed up over time, right?
Exactly. So my sister-in-law says you need to get the Knorr vegetable dip packet.
The Knorr vegetable. Is that a specific brand?
Or Lipton, but yes, it's a brand. All right. We couldn't find the Lipton, so that's neither here nor there. We get the vegetable and then just make it as the recipe on the back says. Okay.
Follow directions.
Got it. Follow directions. Okay. So we get to the house today.
Yep.
We've got our frozen chopped spinach, our Knorr vegetable packet, our sour cream, and our mayonnaise.
Yep.
That's all it's in it.
All good things.
That's all it's in it. All right. Turn it over on the packet. It says it says cook the soup.
Yep.
No, cook the soup.
Soup?
The packet, the vegetable soup packet. Cook it. So we cooked it.
Cook it in what?
As
the other
directions? No, as the directions say. Just make the soup.
Okay.
Just the soup. So we've done that.
Okay.
Sarah says, something's not right. This should not, do we need to drain it? What do we do? So we finally get to my mother, who was asleep yesterday. Turns out you're not supposed to cook the vegetable soup. And it was the only packet we had.
Oh.
So I then had to make a trip to Dollar General. I go to the Dollar General.
They don't have what you need?
No soup packet.
No soup packet. No
So,
soup for you.
I leave. We've called my mother. She's like, you got to start over.
Of course, yeah.
Great.
Thanks, Mom.
Okay, so I go to the other Dollar General.
Okay.
No soup packet.
No soup packet there.
I go to the Save-A-Lot.
Yeah?
We're 45 minutes into this.
Uh-huh.
No soup packet there.
Okay.
So finally, I make my way back to Walmart because it's where I got the last one.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't, I was trying to avoid Walmart at any cost. So we're on our third person, fourth store.
Okay.
I get there.
I really wanted the spinach dip.
Sarah really wanted this spinach dip for whatever reason. Anyway, I get there, and they have plenty of them.
Of course.
And Sarah
How
says,
many did you buy?
Yeah, did
Sarah
you buy
says,
more than
buy
one?
2.
Buy 10.
Right?
Well, we weren't buying enough spinach after that. But
Yep.
I get it back. It's real. Literally, you have to do nothing. You just put everything into a bowl, mix it, and it's done.
Okay.
You just have to make sure the spinach is thawed out because it's frozen.
Yeah, and
then you
drained.
got to drain it.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's all you
got. A lot
gotta
of
do.
water in the spinach.
And then put it in the fridge.
Yep.
Let her go, boys.
Let it sit and marinate.
So
No
this-
soup, though. No.
So
Don't make
the
this-
recipe for this is dump the packet, dump the spinach, mix the sour cream and mayonnaise together, and put it in the fridge. It should take 45 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
It took me 3 hours.
Okay. Mo kind of like this story, right?
All I'm saying is
It's a
this
good-
spinach dip better be the best spinach dip I've ever had.
Well, it
is
better be
pretty
the
good.
best spinach dip Sarah's ever had.
It is pretty darn good. I will tell you, and I
have-
have enjoyed.
I have told you
Cheers.
I'm not a spinach dip fan, but give me a cracker.
Thank you for indulging me after my ridiculous
worth it.
trek.
I'm going to have a lot of cracker and a little dip. So
Well, we appreciate that. I appreciate that more than you know. Man,
the cue and the mic.
it was ridiculous, though. Seriously. Let's take a break. We'll talk about the Braves briefly.
You need one.
I do. After that, talk about the Braves on the other side. Stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee Sports Editor, 3-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
Other guy in Wham married the best looking girl, Bananarama. So other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice.
All right, we made it the second half here on Main Street Sports Today after that tasty little halftime snack of the infamous spinach dip story. Go back and watch or listen into the podcast if you want to find out more details exactly about that. Coming up in the second half, we got Chip Walters joining us in just a few minutes. Talk a little Blue Raider sports. Also, Top 5 Tuesday, prize sports possessions. Should be interesting. Chris, I don't think either of us are going to hold a candle to what Mo can bring. And then, of course, as always, this day in Braves history and our daily Braves segment. So we'll send you back over across the room to the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Chris Yao. Gentlemen.
What's up? What's up? Yeah, it's a good day. Atlanta Braves lost 1-0 last night. Tyler Matzick's on the injured list.
Tucker Davidson and his 16-plus ERA will make the start for the Braves tonight.
16.88. Nearly 17. Okay. So I saw a tweet. And this is what I wanted. This is where I was going with that. It appears the Cincinnati Reds may be shopping Hunter Green as for a trade. What? What would you be willing to give up from the Braves to get Hunter Green? And don't say Dansby Swanson.
No.
You know Dansby was going to be at the top of the list. Dansby,
not on my list.
Best shortstop in the league. We'll take the fifth starter. You know why? Because we got a serviceable shortstop somewhere.
Well, not only that, but Hunter Green can play shortstop when he's not pitching. He was about a two-way guy coming out of high school. I would Drew Waters.
That was exactly where I was going.
Without question.
He's not coming up. We're just going to leave him in Gwinnett forever. Poor kid.
I mean, if he's not coming up, you might as well get something for him, and I don't know where he's going to go. But I would imagine Cincinnati's going to want a major league player in a trade for Hunter Green. And I don't really, especially with Manny Pena being done for the year, you can't trade Contreras.
Right.
So I don't want Dansby traded. Personally.
I don't know. I think I'd take him for Hunter Green.
Then what are you going to do at shortstop?
I would consider it.
Nah. As you're talking about a team that may be experiencing a leadership void, I think Dansby addresses some of that, to be honest.
Yeah, but unfortunately, he learned his leadership role from Mr. 162.
There's got to be some tweaking of that.
Seriously, that's why I'm worried about that. I'm just saying, Mr. 162 over there.
Oh, man.
It's tough.
First of all, it's mind-boggling to me to think that Hunter Green is actually on the trading block.
Well, it's the Cincinnati Reds, man.
And secondly, at this point, whether they trade him or not, I think they almost have to trade him at this point. If it's out there like that they are, soliciting offers for him.
Well, a blue check tweeted it. It wasn't just random.
I'm not blowing it off necessarily. I'm just saying what the Braves have to be careful about is you got Mike Soroka looming.
That's true. You hope you do anyway.
I think he pitches before the end of the year. Now,
how does he pitch? Before the end of the year.
But I mean, I guess if you have an opportunity to get an arm like a Hunter Green, you certainly have to explore it. But I don't know. I mean, because you sent Langoliers, you sent Pache to Oakland in the Matt Olson trade. Nothing wrong with that. But who knew Hunter Green was going to be available or that might be available? But I would think you'd have to start with Drew Waters. I would think Cincinnati would make you start with Drew Waters. And there might be a Tucker Davidson or somebody else, a Spencer Strider. I mean, they're going to want pitching back.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think that at least I hope that Mike Soroka is back at some point and back to his former self at that point.
Just close this year. I take him at 100% of his former self next year.
Yeah.
But whatever he can give you this year, if it's anywhere close to that, is going to be pivotal. It's going to be like a trade.
Thanks, Chip. It's like making a big trade at the deadline.
You know what, though?
It is, though.
Cliches.
He's right.
Cliches for a reason.
He's right. It's funny. This Braves team has got to find a way to hit the baseball. The strikeout kings.
Yeah, I mean, even if you bring in a Hunter Green or a Mike Soroka, losing 1-0 on a wild pitch, I mean, that's not on the pitching. Even though.
Yeah, well.
I mean, without that wild pitch, it would have been 0-0 going into the 83rd inning or whatever.
Probably.
Yeah.
So they would have tied that record that we talked about yesterday.
What if they strike out 17? I know Milwaukee retired the last 15 batters they faced. I don't know how many strikeouts there were.
It was a bunch. But had they gone into the 13th or 14th, they might have tied that record that was on this damn Braves history.
Speaking of
take it away.
Like that. May 17th, first of all, I got to warn you, we're getting a double dose of Braves history. Yeah, exactly. 5/17/2016, the Braves fired manager Freddie Gonzalez and replaced him on an interim basis with Brian Snitker, manager of the AAA Gwinnett Braves. With a record of 9-28, the Braves are off to their worst start in team history. Snitker will stabilize the team to earn the job on a permanent basis, and the rest is history. But also, May 17th, 1970, with his first inning single in an eventual 7-6 loss at Cincinnati in Game 2 of a twin bill, Hank Aaron became the 9th player in MLB history to reach the 3,000 hit milestone, the first of those 9 to hit 500 home runs. In his next at bat, he also homered for his 570th career homer.
There you go.
Putting up numbers.
That's right. We'll be right back after this on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Live here from Columbia and the dimple of the universe, the mule capital of the world, the hometown of one Chip Walters. Well, I will tell you, I had planned on taking a trip to this open house this past weekend. And as I was to an open house this weekend over here in Riverside, as I was driving, I see that it had already gone under contract before I got there, and that's why you choose Chip.
Nice.
Chip, what's going on, man?
Not much. How are you guys doing today?
Well, we're not doing as well as you are. You're just getting contracts signed left and right, huh?
Did not say it was a contract. They did not say it was a contract closed yet. It's a contract signed and one closed is different, but we're very fortunate over there. Great neighborhood. My grandmother lived over there on 2nd Avenue, and back in the day when I was when I was going to Riverside, my dad would drop me off at her house and I would walk to school. So most of my friends in that time were folks in Riverside. And I did notice the other day, after, probably watching a million baseball games at Pillow Park, that they have a new sign over there, talking about the history on that corner there of Riverside Drive and Carter Street. That was a very, important place in a lot of folks' youth, folks my age and up and a little bit down from my age. But you guys have seen a few games over there too, I would imagine.
Actually, Chip, I have not.
Really? You never saw any? Well, I mean, I remember, it was started. I mean, I think the first games were back in the early 1900s, but back in the mid-century, where it really got its life was when the Monsanto plant had a baseball team, and they were, basically semi-pro.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were a big draw there. Central High School played there. You had post 19 and post 10 other American Legion teams. American Legion state tournaments were there. Legion ball has always been outstanding in Columbia, and even Columbia State probably played a few games there before they built the field out on Hampshire Pike. But I was glad to see that the recognition of the history of Pillow Park over there.
Chip, you said that there's a difference in a signed contract and a closed contract, but you can't get one closed without getting it signed, can you?
That's correct. You're certainly correct.
But
so
the thing is, he didn't have to bake the cookies.
That's right.
Because there was no open house, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah, I've told you that trick before, hadn't I? You kind of keep the cookies baking during the open house to just to kind of keep that smell going through. Yeah, but the other thing happened on Saturday. Yeah, I was over there for that. But a little shout out to my classmates of the class of 1981. We had our 40th +1 reunion on Saturday night. But we had a great time, good group, and a lot of the outstanding athletes from our class were there, and just a whole lot of fun. And I think we decided the other night that we're not going to wait till 50. We're going to go ahead and have one 4 years from now for our 45th, and just encourage anybody who has the chance to go back to do that. We had a real big time.
Well, I tell you, if some of my classmates don't get moving, I think ours is going to be a 40th +1 as well. It's supposed to be 40 this year, and a lot of people have been, what are we doing for our 40th? Yeah. What are we doing for our 40th? And nobody's finalizing anything.
We had a Facebook group that nobody wanted to take charge in. I'm like, didn't we elect a class president for this?
I think the class presidents forget that that's one
part of the duties.
They did not. They were not. There's not a whole lot of foresight at 18.
No, there's not. There's not at all.
Yeah, but I was a little involved in the planning of our 30th, and I'm hoping that I can avoid it this time around. But But I'm not sure I'll be able to. Anyway, Chip, we have digressed greatly.
Yes, we have.
Who on the Murfreesboro campus, besides Jim Tolman, saw the Blue Raiders going out to Houston and taking 3 from Rice?
Well, I mean, if you followed Rice this year, they are in dead last place in Conference USA, which in itself is a really kind of shocking development. But I thought Middle would have a chance to win, a great chance to win the series, and there was some talk, with the way the schedule is this week, which we'll cover in just a second, that you needed to go out there and win as many as you could, because your last 4 games are all against top 25 teams. You've got the number 4 RPI team tonight with Vanderbilt in Nashville, and then Southern Miss comes in. They're a top 20 RPI team. So they needed to make some hay this weekend. And I'll tell you, they got off to a great start Friday night as P. Wig, he spun one on Friday night, a 2-hitter and a 7-0 shutout, and was named Conference USA Pitcher of the Week today for those efforts.
The crafty lefty from Page High School.
Yep. There's no such thing as a crafty righty, but there are plenty of, there's hard throwing righties and crafty lefties.
Crafty lefties. There you go.
Yep.
Or crafty southpaws.
That's right. But he got them off to a great start. And then on Saturday, they held off Rice for a 5-4 win. And then on Sunday had an 11-run third, led 14-0, 18-2, and won 21-7.
In a game that Rick Stockstill would have been proud of, right?
Exactly. And no quadruple doink on the field goal. That's what happened the last time we were in Houston. And but you see this team, kind of getting all of the pieces together at the right time, and you're going to have that if you want to, take 2 or 3 of these last 4 games, and I'm including the Vandy game tonight. You've got to be at your best. The pitching, it'll be interesting to see how Toman and Corbin both handle their pitching, because they both have series that start on Thursday night coming up this weekend. I think Vandy's got LSU and Middle's got Southern Miss. So both are big series for both schools. So it could be, Johnny Allstaff tonight. You could have, a different guy an inning. We've seen that before. You could have somebody that hasn't pitched, put a time or 2 all year, have the ball put in his hands and say, go get it. But we'll just have to see how they plan on doing that tonight. 6:00 at Hawkins Field in Nashville.
Both those teams looking to try to take some momentum into these Thursday, Friday, Saturday series as well, Chip. I mean,
absolutely. That's a big part of the game.
Yeah, Middle has won 6 straight now and 8 of their last 9. So
listen to this. This is what's important to understand. Middle Tennessee is currently tied for 3rd in Conference USA baseball standings. I'm not saying that they are going to sweep Southern Miss, but if they did, by some way, it can happen. It has happened before. If they could sweep Southern Miss, La Tech has Charlotte, who is pretty good, and UTSA has UAB, who is not as good, but they could find themselves. They still have an opportunity to be the number 1 seed in the tournament.
Yeah, going into the last weekend, it tells you a lot about what the league has been like this year. And I think Toman, I heard him on the post-game show the other day say they could finish anywhere from 1st to 6th, with the way things happen. But the good thing is you've got a spot locked up in the tournament, which then allows you to play with really no pressure, and also you're at home. And that's good. They've played well at home this year, and the athletic department has, matter of fact, I think just this afternoon has put out for the next 48 hours. They're going to be selling chairback seats for $5 a piece for the weekend. For each game this weekend, so you can get the premium seats that are available, and they obviously want to pack the park, have a great atmosphere, and really have a great series with Southern Miss, because they're really, really good. And you need that 10th man, so to speak, to go in against that group and have success.
Chip Walters, the voice of the Blue Raiders, with us here on Main Street Sports today. Chip, couple of guys out in Norman, Oklahoma this week.
Got it right here in front of me. Nick Wolf, who was UT Martin grad transfer, Coach Donnelly's grandson. He finished today, and he is at 6 over par. Had a 77 yesterday, 4 strokes better today at 73. Michael Bernard, he is also at +6. He had a 73 yesterday, and he is, I think, going to be +4 today when it's all said and done. So he and Nick will be both at +6. They're about 15 shots off the lead as far as that, but they are also they are within 5 shots of being in the top 20 in the individual draw for the Norman Regional. So that, for them to get out there is really neat for them to be able to get out there and play. And they've got one more round left in them. So hopefully somebody can make a run and get on to the next level.
That regional tournament field is not forgiving. I mean, the top 5 top 5 teams, and then the top individual who is not a member of one of those top 5 teams or who advance. So you got to go out there and shoot lights out, particularly if your team isn't going to be around the top.
Right. And Middle's team didn't make it, but you had 2 individuals that are. And so, right now the deck is stacked against them, but they're continuing to play, and that's what you want to do, play as long as you can. And this will wind it up for Nick Wolf, who's had an outstanding college career, won conference championship or multiple conference championships at UT Martin, and who, by the way, their golf coach has Columbia connections. His mother was Cindy Brooks. She was in my class. And so there's a Columbia connection there. He grew up in Gallatin, but he has done a great job after taking over the UT Martin golf program. And so best of luck to Michael and Nick tomorrow, and hope that it's not their final round. But if it is, go out swinging and hit them straight.
There you go.
Well, if you hit them straight, it's less likely to be your final round.
That's correct. That is correct.
Unless there's a dog leg. Then you gotta put a little draw in it. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. But the only other thing I had today was track and field. Finished up the conference meet last weekend in San Antonio, and I'm not sure who all individually is going to advance. There will be several, but as far as all conference, Abigail Kwartang in the high jump, Alaba Akintola in the 100-meter, 200-meter, Benjamin Onyekwulu in the long jump, Esther Issa in the long jump and triple jump, Usila Chipkimi in the 800 and 1500, and Stephen Aloji in the 400 hurdles were all first team all-conference USA. And again, they'll be figuring out who has advanced to the NCAA meet. And when that is concluded, that will lead right into the June 4th celebration of life for Dean Hayes at the Dean Hayes Track and Soccer Stadium on June the 4th on a Saturday afternoon. There'll be a lot of folks in the track world from across the country and around the world who will be there to recognize him.
4:30.
4:30. Okay.
Start time for that event there. So,
well, I'll be seeing a lot of you guys next week here in the borough.
You will indeed. You will indeed.
Good.
So, dinner's
I do
on
want
you.
a little. Yeah, that's correct. We'll do that one night. One little plug is, in addition to, I think your show will be live from Sportscom over here, which is the headquarters for Spring Fling. Neil Price and myself will also, and Bradley Lambert, our executive producer, will be doing our Spring Fling HQ show 2 to 6 on Tuesday, and then, or 2 to 8 rather, on Tuesday, and then 10 to 6 on Wednesday and Thursday. It will be a continual update of all events, everything Spring Fling. So if you're out and about between venues, flip us on, and we'll have an update. It's kind of like a big never-ending sports center on those 3 days. And but of course, during your show on those days, you have permission to tune back over to you and Chris, and I hear GP may actually be there.
Yeah, it's I don't know how much of me and Mo you'll hear, but it's more likely you'll hear GP. And
There
maybe
you go.
JP on a couple days.
GP and JP, that could be a whole new thing.
Very well.
Going to go on the road, Chip, with that.
That's right.
GP
Chip,
and JP.
Tell us more about where folks can find you all for that.
Go to TSSAAsports.com, and there will be a link that will be pretty prominent. I'm not sure that it's up there just yet. I'm going to look over there. No, I don't think it's quite there just yet. But there will be a link on the front. If you get into the spring fling portion, and there will be a button you can get for Spring Fling HQ. And then, of course, there'll be a lot of events that'll be on the NFHS network. And Clay Snellgrove and I will be doing one of the baseball championship games next Friday. So Spring Fling, what is that, 29, number 29, XXIX?
XXIX is indeed 29. So
okay, it is fast becoming the premier week with TSSAA. Basketball, of course, is huge. Blue Cross Bowl is huge, but there will be 4,000 high school athletes in Murfreesboro next week, along with family and friends. They will be at every high school baseball field in Rutherford County, and also add in Wilson Central. They will also be playing all the soccer out at Richard Siegel Soccer Complex for men's soccer. McKnight Park will be the home for softball. The Adams Tennis Complex will be the home for tennis. And of course, the Dean Hayes Track and Soccer Stadium will be for the state track meet, which is an absolute show in itself. I mean, you get to Thursday and Friday, and those stands are packed, and it is just one final after another, and it's really something special.
And after having to go out to Rockvale for the state track and field last year, it's a welcome return to the MTSU campus. Take it from
those who had to travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And because we know you like Murfreesboro traffic anyway.
Nobody likes traffic from anywhere, but especially in Murfreesboro.
Anyway, on that note, Chip Walters, the voice of the Blue Raiders, joining us here on Main Street Sports today. Chip, as always, we appreciate you. Look forward to seeing you next week in the borough. And again, dinner's on you.
All right. Adios. See ya.
Later.
We'll be back with our top five most prized sports possessions. Stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. We'll be back after this.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Welcome back in. Quick break there. I want to thank Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint, our friends here in Columbia, taking care of all of your orthopedic needs. Don't forget about their Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic, so you don't have to wait at the emergency room. They do a fantastic job and took care of Sarah not too long ago. She ended up with a walking boot and wore it for 2 days. So don't tell my friends at MTBJ that she didn't do what they said.
What's the point in going if you ain't gonna do what they tell you?
She wore it for 2 days and felt pretty good after that. So, and she hasn't had, she's like, I don't think I really had a stress fracture. And I'm like, well, okay. They know. They don't know.
They don't know. They've been to school how long?
Exactly. But hey, who are we and what do we know? Anyway, Let's talk about our most prized sports possessions. And I have to admit that 3 of my 5 did not originate in my possession. But
what you do, steal them?
They belong to either my granddad or my dad and were passed down to me.
Hand-me-downs.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
which is, I feel like that's
kind of
within
a
the
fairly
rules.
heirloomish kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, especially a couple of them. So, anyway.
I have to warn you that I've not held on to stuff like I probably should have. I mean, you see pictures of Teresa's press credentials from various events and that kind of thing. I just didn't have the forethought to keep either of my Citrus Bowl passes.
You do have something from the Citrus Bowl, and I wonder if that's on the list.
It's not.
Honorable mention right there. You got the Citrus Bowl duffel bag, right?
Yeah.
Back when they gave out cool swag.
We talked about that before, right?
Back when it was full of swag.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
you've clearly seen the duffel bag. There was
stuff in the duffel bag.
Yeah, it wasn't just a duffel bag.
The only thing I've ever gotten from a bowl was the Northwestern Kentucky game, and they gave me a coin. I'm like, really? Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. That's not on my list either.
Yeah.
So there you go.
We'll start with JP since we kind of shanghaied the conversation.
We always do.
Anyway.
You know, I've got 3.
So we'll start with us and get.
Yeah, we'll start with us.
Sorry.
3.
I was building up towards that.
That's okay. My number 5. I was presented an award by the Metro Nashville Basketball Coaches Association, and it's a trophy with a basketball on it. So,
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I was going to, before I realized we were taking a 30-second break, I was going to go get one of mine, but I've decided to.
We've got a collective one right here, actually, speaking of.
And that is on our collective list is thank you, Richland Basketball. But Sumner Christian softball team gave me a signed softball from their 2015 state championship team, which is really cool. That includes the signature of SEC Softball Player of the Year, KB Sides.
So you were covering them that year?
No.
Oh.
I was the voice of the Summerton Christian Lady Eagles.
Oh, the voice.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is my number 5, my mini helmet collection. That does not
all of them, huh?
And they're all not in here. I've got the Albany Conquest mini helmet that I don't have in here, and
You've got some off-Broadway hats.
I've got a couple others that you don't see here, but I have about 10 or 12 mini helmets that I have kept over the years.
All right.
Cool.
Did you get number 5?
I got up to 5.
Oh, you
got
got
up
a
to
5.
5. So thank you for vamping. I got it up to 5.
Come on.
Mine is going to be, you mentioned a trophy or recognition, a plaque, whatever. Lawrenceburg hosted the 15-year-old Babe Ruth World Series in 2015 and 2017. I was fortunate to be on the host committee as the media coordinator, and they gave us plaques after the second one. Really nice plaque. It says thank you, and it mentions both of that. It just really signified a ton of volunteer hours put in that. And so that is one of the, I don't have a whole lot of trophies or a whole lot of plaques, but sports-wise, that one means a lot. So I'm proud of that.
Cool.
Number 5.
What were you saying? Oh, I've got number 4.
Well, we got to talk about Mid-South 5 Fitness. Dallas Steele and the gang, SteeleAthletes.com. They bring you Top 5 Tuesday each and every week, so we appreciate Dallas Steele. That's Mid-South 5 Fitness, one location in Columbia, the other in Franklin. Make sure to go visit them at SteeleAthletes on Instagram and SteeleAthletes.com. Number 4.
Would be a good time to mention Dallas has got a bunch of kids next week. So
we're going to get to that hopefully Monday.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
All right.
If not, Friday.
Number 4. Went to the Louisville Slugger Museum in Louisville. And got a commemorative bat while I was there, which is pretty, I mean, you got to get a bat if you go to Louisville Slugger Museum, right?
And personalized it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, what'd you put on it? Just your name or? Okay. Those are nice, though.
He carries it around when he wears his Sounds uniform.
That's right.
He walks around the neighborhood being like, yeah, back in my day.
Yeah, me and Al Bundy, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
Scored 4 touchdowns in a single game.
What's your number 4?
My number 4 is the Davey Allison photo that you used to see behind me on back in the other studio, but it was one of the last 200 photos he signed, and he gave it to my granddad, who they were very close friends, and so having that is pretty cool.
Like that. Number 4 for me. Speaking of the Babe Ruth World Series, the first one, the guest speaker at the opening ceremonies was Johnny Bench.
Oh.
And so I got a signed baseball and got to meet Johnny Bench. So
That's
that was kind of, I mean,
the catch.
Hall of Famer. Yep.
Number 3?
Number 3.
Number 3. Another bat. After I stepped off the board of directors of the Franklin Baseball Club, I was fortunate enough to be inducted into their Hall of Fame and was given an engraved bat again as a trophy award, commemorative, whatever.
A token.
A token
of your
yes.
your Hall of Fameness.
Exactly. Yeah. A token. Yes. Yeah.
Well, my number 3 is I have in 2009, I think it might have been 2010, the AFL, the Arena Football League, had just come out of bankruptcy, and the Arena Football 2 owners bought the trademark of the AFL. Well, they kind of meshed the leagues together, and Huntsville's team had a chance to play in the AFL against the Orlando Predators and the Tampa Bay Storm and a lot of the big-time names, Philadelphia Soul. And I got a football that I took to every game, and every time the away teams had somebody big, I would have them sign it. So Tennessee Titans quarterback coach Pat O'Hara is on there. Hall of Fame coach Tim Markham, touchdown Eddie Brown, and several others. It's just a plethora of just random arena football names that are signed on this football. So I love it because obviously I'm a goofball, but it's pretty cool to have some of the biggest names in arena football history all on one ball.
Yeah. So it's pretty good.
It is.
You got room for more?
There's room for more, but there's no arena football league.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
If I happen to see Andy Kelly walking around, I might toss him the ball and have him sign it. But that's about the only option.
I might can arrange that.
Andy Kelly and Corey Fleming would be pretty big for that. But
Cats.
Anyway, love the
Still
Cats.
Yep.
Got both their numbers.
Hey, we'll make it happen one day. Number 3, JP.
Number 3, mentioned about press credentials. This is the one that stands out for me. Probably my favorite event that I ever did while living in Charlotte and working for Fox Sports South and ESPN, the Crystal Square Off eating competition. It was in Chattanooga, and we did it 2 or 3 years.
Why would they have it in Chattanooga?
Crystal, that was
I know
it was a home, yeah. Okay, well, just not maybe everybody doesn't know that.
No,
but
everybody probably doesn't know that the home and of Crystal hamburgers is also. We need to make sure people know that the Square Off is because of the hamburger.
Exactly, because it's a square burger.
Some people may not know that.
Square burger, well done. But yeah, that was one of the most fun. I got to interview Kobayashi and
Joey Chestnut.
Joey Chestnuts. Chestnuts. I did say that. Just one. Joey Chestnut.
Singular.
It's singular. You could tell how fun that event was. Yes. Joey Chestnuts.
Number 2.
Number 2.
Follow that, Mo.
Number 2. I can't. I can't. Number 2. I still have a box score from the 1989 Franklin Whites Creek Class AAA State Championship game.
Oh.
Okay.
Won by Kevin Anglin and his
yes.
teammates.
Anchor down, Vandy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a mimeograph. It's
Yeah, that's awesome.
The purple stuff.
Mo, one
by hand. Yeah.
One of their, I think it was assistant coach Barry Laxon. Do you remember Barry? Okay, he came. He coached at Lawrence County. He was the varsity coach my freshman year.
Yeah.
So I know Barry, and I remember that was always the thing, and he was able to
the claim to fame.
Claim to fame.
Coach Laxon actually
Love
coached
Barry.
baseball at Franklin when I was in school there.
He's done it all.
Yeah, he has.
But yeah, there you go, a little time there.
Number 2 for me is also used to be in the studio. Peyton Manning signed jersey. just because it's Peyton Manning.
That's your number 2?
My number 2.
All right.
Okay. Number 2 for me, you talked about a basketball. You guys got that GRIZZLIES one. The lone state championship for Lawrence County High School, 1998 girls basketball team. I was on. We had 2 radio stations at the time, and I was on one of the stations broadcast. So I got assigned basketball from the team. So that was
awesome.
That was kind of cool. Yeah, from your alma mater. That's number 2.
So my number 1. I was part of the team that covered the Rams Titans Super Bowl XXXIV. Is that 34?
34.
Yeah. And there's a newspaper that had a picture of me doing an interview with Isaac Bird, one of the Rams receivers. Somebody. Anyway.
Isaac Bruce.
No, it wasn't
Bruce?
Isaac Bruce. It was Isaac Bird.
Isaac Bird. There's a bird too.
Yeah, there was a bird as well. But there's a picture of me working Super Bowl coverage.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey.
Is that the one in your trench coat?
No, that's a different one.
I'm just making sure.
No, that's a picture of me out at Independence with with Vic Wharton and Rashawn Galden when they signed with UT.
Just making sure, because the trench coat is the coolest picture I've ever seen. I love it. It's really cool. I was like, I wish Mo would wear this all the time. I would.
It's hot and it's heavy.
Yeah, it is hot and heavy.
Yeah.
My number 1 is an Alabama Sports Hall of Fame program that my dad happened to see Coach Bryant on the telephone at the awards ceremony. Walks over to him. He's on the payphone. Gets Coach Bryant to sign it.
Wow.
Okay, so this is
captive audience, huh?
Well, here's the thing: is the picture that's hanging in our other studio may or may not have been signed by Coach Bryant, because the athletic trainer back in the day used to sign Coach Bryant's name all the time. But this one we know was signed. Well, there's another signature on it, also from the 1972 Alabama Sports Hall of Fame induction, John Hanna.
Oh, wow.
On
the same
one
program, you have Bear Bryant and John Hanna's signature. And also on this program, it says, to Bear Bryant, Chuck Yao has signed the program because he was a very unintelligent young man.
Bear Bryant, John Hanna,
and Chuck Yao.
Chuck Yao.
It's a heck of a it's a heck of a program, but
that's the trifecta.
But the fact that you have Bear Bryant and John Hanna signatures on the same, that's pretty freaking cool.
And Chuck Yao.
And Chuck Yao.
Well done, Chuck Yao.
He was 13 years old. I don't blame him, but I would have done some stupid stuff like that too, not knowing what I was doing. And at the time, John Hanna wasn't really John Hanna. He was just Alabama.
Just
John
Alabama
Hanna.
John Hanna.
Yeah, he wasn't New York, New England Patriots, NFL Hall of Famer John Hanna.
It wasn't all caps yet.
Right. Yeah. So,
all right.
your number 1.
My number 1. I saw on Twitter today. I mentioned in one of the breaks that Treylon Burks is the first NFL draft pick by the Titans that was born after the Music City Miracle. Right. Pretty interesting. Talk about how old we're getting. Well, we talked about it. I was at that game. I still have those tickets. Tickets to the Music City Miracle. I was there. I've got 2 of them. Got a pair of them. So that's probably my most prized sports.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
Honorable mention. I've got a laminated bracket of Nick's state tournament finishes junior year when he plays 4th. So.
Oh, nice.
I think the front pages that we did for SMTN Sports
deserve honorable
to have that. Yeah, I mean, as our collective.
Absolutely.
I mean, between this basketball and those sports fronts are pretty cool, and being able to give those to those coaches last year was really, really.
Yeah, we need to get some of those framed and get them up in here.
I've got 3 of them framed. We just got to get the other 2. So, and then we got to figure out how to display 5. without, I guess we have to do it just straight across. I don't know.
Wall of Fame.
The Wall of Fame. All right. Thanks, guys,
Wall
for
of
hanging out with us. It's been, there you go. It's been a long show, but well worth it, I thought. Teresa Walker, thank you. Chip Walters as well. Walkers and Walter, GP and JP. We got the tag team duos are in full force today. So.
SummerSlam's coming up.
That's right.
Tomorrow
we have a great show.
Heather Williams joins us to talk NASCAR as she does every Wednesday. And also, Marion Angus is going to get us ready for the opening weekend of the NCAA Division I softball tournament.
There it is. It's going to be a lot of fun. So y'all come back tomorrow, 2 o'clock. From Columbia, I'm Chris Yao with Mo Patton and JP Plant saying have a great day. See you then.